Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Trending Thursday. My name is Glenn Tompkins, Senior Stock Market Strategist for VectorVest. Glad to be here. Glad to have you here. And this is the stream that started us all off on YouTube. Was Trending Thursday. If you can hear me loud and clear, by all means, please respond in the chat, preferably with VV Nation, and let me know that I am coming across loud and clear. Still loving this mic. Still loving this mic, and Joey, so far, it's been good. Clean, everything. By the way, Joey's in the background, making sure everything is good to go. And there we go. Lee, Rance, I'm starting to see the names come in. That's good. The alert should hit momentarily. Then we'll get an influx of people into the room. One day, we're going to have like 1,000 people in the room. One day, I'm going to speak it into existence. One day we're gonna have like 1,000 people in the room, and that's gonna be a great thing. Do you like the sound of the new mic? Yeah, let us know. Joey and Clay sat down many hours to find out what the best mic would be for me, and this is what they came up with: the Shure mic. The Shure mic. A couple of you out there said that this was one of the best mics for streaming, and evidently so far so good. No problems with my mic anymore. And it seems to sound good. And I like the way it fits right in front of me on the screen. And I feel comfortable. I don't feel awkward, all that kind of stuff. I feel comfortable. You know what I want to do, Joey? I'm going to do it live right now. I'm going to see if it works. All right. Joey didn't know I was going to do this. All right. The mic could be louder. Now, how about this? Now it's out of the way, but now right there on me, not on the screen. What do you think about that? All right. Joey, by the way, what do you think about that more so than anything? What do you think about that? It's out of the way.
Sounds good. It sounds like you're far away.
It does sound like I'm far away?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I just made a command decision on the fly. Joey didn't like it. Joey's such a prima donna. That's the problem. So I got to do what Joey says, unfortunately. I'm just the talent. Joey's my tech guy, but he's really good at it. But I'm learning. Right now, I'm learning how to start to maybe do a stream on my own. We'll see. All right, Joey doesn't think I'm there yet. I don't think I'm there yet anyway, but slowly but surely getting me into the feel of being able to do it on my stream. Go back to what works, please. There we go. Okay, wow. That was very direct, Roy. It was very direct. All right. With that being said, as you can see on the screen, we got a couple of more red lights in the color guard RT and BSR. Is it time to panic still? No, I'm going to talk about that in a second. Primary wave did bounce back up today. All of the major indices are down. Why? Because of the uncertainty of tariffs. I think that right now is the big news that's moving the market, understanding that and understanding the Fed, where the Fed sits in all of this. The Fed is uncertain about, to a certain degree, about what to do. All right. Now, if the tariffs do bring up inflation, which most likely is going to be the case, all right, and tomorrow's 6 p.m. video, I recorded it today. Tomorrow's 6 p.m. video is going to talk about domestic related stocks where companies are doing more stuff in the United States, whether it's their products, whether it's where they build it, that kind of thing. So make sure you tune in for tomorrow's 6 p.m. video. It's going to be going after this mainstream story of the tariffs and how to get around that with looking at domestic stocks that really focus on the United States, where they get their products, where they make their products, that kind of thing. So that's going to be tomorrow's 6 p.m. video. I saw a story, Jazz, about CoreWeave, and I didn't see enough to want to make it into a story today, but I did see. We'll take a look at it. Hopefully, we'll take a look at it. He's been learning for 5 years this time. Wow. And Joey's right. I've gotten spoiled with Joey being the guy in the background for me, that, I really didn't get hands-on with the stream, but I am working on that now. All right. I am working on that now. Uncle Glenn, what should we get out of market as what? I'm not sure. What should we do now? I'm going to talk about that. Good afternoon, Alfreda. All right. With that, looks like the alert hit. We got 156 people in here. As I said, I'm going to talk it into existence, and you guys are going to have to help me. Someday, we're going to have 1,000 people in on a live stream. It's going to happen. All right. A Fox is right. Hit the like button as you come in. Doesn't cost you anything to do that, especially if you like the content you hear and you like the content. Make sure you hit that like button. So as we look at what's on the homepage, all of the major indices are down, but they're not down by a lot. That gives me a little bit of optimism that even with the uncertainty of the tariffs, as the market pulls back, nothing is running away to the downside. So with that being said, 75,000 solid in this channel. Nice. Thank you, John. That's right. So with that being said, am I panicking? The answer to that question is no. As I get us into the program, looking at a market timing graph, you all know, trade the chart, not your heart. Don't trade the news. Don't worry. The news is going to be the news. But what do I see going on? I saw that coming off of this low or this bottom. Notice that I made things a little darker for you to be able to see too. How many of you like that? Just type a 1 in the room. How many of you like that? I darkened some things so it makes it a little easier to see them in the room when I'm looking at a chart. You can clearly see now that that's the MTI, the buy to sell ratio, and the RT. And what's in the background, the market timing. I keep finding myself struggling when I do a live stream to see what these things are. So I forgot that I can do this, and I made it nice and darker here. So coming off the low, coming off the bottom, trending higher. Where are we now? We're below the trend line. But I'm looking at the wicks, both to the upside and the downside today. A little bit of a spinning top, which gives me no clear direction. I do see over the last 3 days we've fallen. We've broken through this level of support as well. Um, all of our indicators still below 1, pulling back. But I'm not I got a lot of room here before I panic. What should you be doing now, as Amir asks? I'm going to tell you to make sure that you tighten your stops. I don't know how long this market could fall and for how long. I don't know how long it can and how far. That's probably the two things. I don't know how long this could last, and I don't know how far down it could go. But, I'd rather you start tightening stops up here than wait until you're all the way down here, Amir, to start panicking and then pull out of stocks. Right now is a good time to be defensive. If you own stocks that you do not want to get out of, first thing you want to do is sell covered calls. If you don't know how to sell covered calls, I wouldn't be mad at you if you took advantage of some contra ETFs right now. Am I ready to play the market to the downside? Not after 3 days. Not after the news is forcing the market to do this. Not ready to sell short yet, but I am ready to make sure that I protect some of the stocks that I own. And if there's stocks that I do not want to get out of, I'm not afraid to sell covered calls, buy a protective put. If options is not your thing, short term as the market is going down, I would say consider contra ETFs, but non-leverage contra ETFs. As we get into looking at some stocks right now, remind me how to show you how to find the non-leverage contra ETFs. They're a lot less risky in case the market pulls up one day and wipes out the gains on all of your leverage contra ETFs. So someone remind me that I've got to show you how to find very easily the non-leverage contra ETFs in the software. Somebody's got to remind me. As a matter of fact, Janice, I'm putting it on you. You got to remind me. Putting it on you. All right? Chinese stocks aren't doing too bad. Well, there's one Chinese stock that I am keeping my eye on, that it's in the news. We're going to get to that in a second. But I wanted to show you, am I panicking? No. Smack this. It's not time yet. Don't remind me now. Oh, my gosh. All right, don't remind me now. I said you're cheating the game. You got to wait. Wow, the new mic sounds great. Thank you for that, Tom. I appreciate that. Uncle Glenn, can you use the barbecue system to do options? What? What's the barbecue system? I don't know what that is. The BBQ system. I'm not sure what that is, Seth. I don't know what that is, Seth. Man, normally I'm the one that's always got food on my mind. But Seth's talking about the barbecue. Sorry. You might have mistyped that, and if you did, type in what you're looking for. All right, type in what you're looking for. So am I panicking? No. I'm watching today's candle get a little smaller. All right, a little bit of indecision creeping in today as getting a doji, but I got a wick on both the top and the bottom showing me nothing. Nothing as far as true direction today. I'm pretty much just stagnant as people are taking in the news of the tariffs and how potentially they could affect us. All right. With that being said, I want to get into the news. All right, let's get into the news. Big story. The GDP came in revised up a tick to 2.4. Quarter over quarter spending revised down. That just means that the economy is softening. All right, that pretty much means that the economy is softening. Does that hurt us or does that help us? It means that the economy is softening, and that's that. And we got to take it at face value. It was supposed to say, can I use VectorVest to trade options? It did autocorrect. Yeah, you can use VectorVest to trade options to a certain degree. We have a tool, though, called Options Pro that is ideally set to utilize VectorVest to find you option trades. You want to learn more about Options Pro? Seth, give our product support staff a call. I want to warn you that it's not an inexpensive tool. It is expensive. But for those of people out there that do have the Options Pro tool, it is an amazing tool. It is an amazing tool. And it can actually be tied up and butted against the VectorVest Unisearch tool to hone in on really good option trades for you. So I'm putting that out there. Glenn, would you advise buying the SPY puts regardless of how expensive they may be rather than selling positions now? Edward, with the market the way that it is right now, let me go back to the graph real quick. With the market the way that it is right now, first thing before I go decide whether I want to be a buyer or a seller of options, I want to look at the VIX. Is the VIX high? Sigh, where'd that go? Is the VIX high? If the VIX is high, we're at 1849. It's pulled back, but it's still high. I'm thinking that premiums probably fell as volatility fell. All right, so keep that in mind. I'm thinking that volatility fell on options as the VIX fell. They still may be high. Premiums may still be high. We're still close to the level of 20. When we get to the level of 20 on the volatility in the market, there's a lot of fear in the market. And when that happens as well, we get a lot of volatility. High volatility like up here, I'd rather be a seller of options. When the volatility falls, I'd rather be a buyer of options. Does that make sense? All right, so would I buy? It all depends on how high or low the volatility in the market is. All right, hopefully that answers your question. All right, so softening economy. Then a lot of people are going to start jumping to the idea of a recession is coming. I'm not talking recession yet. I'm not talking about the R word just quite yet. Not yet. Let the market come to you. That's all in anticipation of what's going on, but let the market come to you. As I showed you on the market timing graph, I'm not panicking right now, but I am tightening stops on stocks and possibly looking at selling covered calls, buying protective puts, or hedging with non-leveraged contra ETFs. Another story today, industrial jobs claims hold roughly steady in the past week. Another sign of just the economy sitting still, softening a little bit. The economy is still strong enough that we don't need a rate cut at this time. I think that as an economy, we've gotten used to near zero interest rates, but do we have to have that? Good thing about near zero interest rates is it helps us to finance the debt with a lower interest payment. Totally understand that, and I'm with that. But I think that you cut rates at the right time, and right now still is not the right time. No alert came today for some reason. It may just be me. Joey, did you get an alert? I know I sent it today.
I got one from the VectorVest app, yes.
But not from the app, not from the alert that I sent?
From the VectorVest app, yes, I did get that alert.
Okay. Glenn, will we be range bound for the next 4 years? Nope. I don't think so. I honestly don't think so. I think that we're at the beginning of some hard times. You know me how I feel about the tariffs, all right? I think that the tariffs are absolutely a tool And so far, and I reposted this on Twitter, looking at the money that was pledged due to the tariffs, the money that was pledged to come back into the United States, which should build factories, which should employ a lot of people. Key word there is pledge. It hasn't happened yet. These are people verbally saying that they don't want to be tariffed, so they want to build their products here in the United States so that they don't get tariffed. Pledges of the money. Tariffs did create a lot of pledges, but that's just words. Until they turn into actions, we'll see. But no, for that reason, I do not think that we will be range bound for the next 4 years. I just think that this is going to be a hurtful time and I think we needed it. I honestly think we needed it. I've been saying for the longest time that the economy needed a reset. And is the tariffs a form of the reset? I don't know, but I think that we needed to have a reset. Does anybody, all right, does any type of one in the chat if you agree with the thinking that we needed a reset? Type of 2 if you think that I'm just full of crap and that you don't agree with that. And I'm okay with that. You don't have to agree with me. All right. I don't know where you're reading, Akshaya, that the tariffs are going to be permanent. So I cannot confirm nor deny that. I think that it's a tool, and I'm just watching the chat. People sort of kind of agree with that. I haven't seen any 2s yet. Akshaya, you'll probably, there we go, Charles, we got one. And Akshaya, you'll probably type a 2 in there as well. I think that we needed a reset, and I do not think, until I see a story that tells me that the tariffs will be permanent, I cannot get on board with they're going to be permanent. That would be, in my mind, that would be kind of silly. I don't know why we would do that from a permanent standpoint. I think that defeats the purpose of putting them on in the first place. All right. The Fed's new word. Look at that. The Fed has a new favorite word. It's not transitory anymore. It's uncertainty. But you hear that I'm using that word a lot as well. Uncertainty. What's up, Troy? I think our trading partners need to drop their existing tariffs on our goods. Paul, I did some research on that, on the tariffs, which countries tariff more than others. Do you know, and you may not want to hear this, but do you know that we're near the bottom of the list of all the countries that have tariffs? We're like at 1.2% as far as tariffs as a country. As a matter of fact, hold on. I don't want you guys to just believe that, but which countries tariff the most? All right, I want to put that out there. All right, I looked and I found information that showed that we are towards the bottom tier of countries that tariffs. List of countries by tariff rate. Okay, that's Wikipedia. I want to go. Where's the list? I wonder if I can sort by this. Tariff rate applied, weighted. Let's go sort that. Towards the bottom, United Kingdom, Australia, Hungary. Man, a lot of flags got red, white, and blue in them. You see that number? Worldwide, tariff rate applied, weighted mean all products. You see that number? All right. And the reason why I'm putting that up is because I see everybody talking about the tariffs. And you know me, I'm not all about trying to get political in it, but let's go towards the top of the list. Who tariffs more? The Cayman Islands, Bermuda. Why? Gambia, the Bahamas. Why are everybody in the Caribbean tariffing higher? Iran, Zimbabwe, Egypt, Algeria, all double digits. Pakistan, just going down the line. Just going down the line. Malawi. I've been to Malawi. I actually been to Malawi. All right. What did Mark say? If it's on Wikipedia, it's got to be true. Go try, but buy an American car in Europe. Cheaper to buy in the US, ship it there. All right. So I wanted to bring that. I wanted to look at that because I keep hearing a lot about the tariffs and where we are in the standing of tariffs globally is very, very low. Very, very low. All right. Somebody says, come on, man, you know why. I don't know why. All right. So let's go back to the stories. I just wanted to I did the work. I wanted to see if we were big on tariffs overall, and we're not. I heard on Bloomberg this morning that the auto and auto parts tariffs will be permanent per Trump. All right. I had not heard it. But until I can get a story, then I'll report it. Glenn, what we have today are the number one economy. Is there something better than number one? No, I didn't say. I ain't got nothing to say. I didn't say nothing about that. All right. New word, uncertainty. I'm using that word a lot as well because I think that it plays most in the market and what's going on in the market and why the market is reacting the way it is. The tariffs are creating uncertainty. Markets don't like uncertainty. Plain and simple. All right, next story. Boeing. So we know that Boeing got the contract for the F-47. We know that Boeing is in the running for the new Navy airplane, the FAXX series. All right. And now Boeing secures a $240 million U.S. Army contract to rebuild the Chinook helicopters. Can anyone answer the question for me why Boeing is getting so much shine? I'm just curious. Can anybody explain to me why Boeing is getting so much shine? Mark says, even when I lived in the Bahamas as a child, the rule was to double the list price of a U.S. car and import it. It's interesting how the Caribbean communities have such high tariff rates. All right. And Vic says it's a big contributor to his campaign. Do you think that that's really what it is? I don't know. Do you think that it's really what it is? I see people are saying it's because of the F-47 contract. I don't know. But it's interesting. You got Lockheed Martin, you got Northrop Grumman, which are big in the defense space, but Boeing is getting these contracts. How many believe that Boeing's going to get the FAXX contract? All right. I think they're going up against Lockheed. All right. Boeing was on Trump stock. All right. Vic. So a lot of people are thinking the same thing. I'm just curious. I'm just bringing it to the light. How is Boeing getting all this shine? Next country, next stock. Boyd, as much as I'm not a big fan of Chinese stocks, Boyd is doing the darn thing. Being able to charge your car at the same time that it costs, the same time it takes to pump gas. They're growing in their revenue. New story, Boyd Company sets lofty goal to double auto sales outside of China. So everybody else could buy that except for here. We won't. So far, we're not going to allow them to sell their cars in the U.S. But at the prices that they're charging for an EV, a full EV, a lot of the other countries are going to jump on board. And that's a lofty goal. Double the auto sales outside of China. And you know something? Ryan talked about Boyd overtaking Tesla in the EV space. You know, Boyd is the Tesla of China, right? Boyd is the Tesla of China. And so far, man, Boyd is doing the darn thing. Is Boyd a solid state battery? I don't think so. I don't think that it's a solid state battery, Troy. Then why is everyone panicking here in the U.S.? Everybody's panicking here in the U.S. because they don't have VectorVest. And they're reacting to the news. They're not trading the chart. Their heads are all on a swivel. So that is the problem, Amir. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And that's why we have a channel. That's why we have a company that's designed to help you guys keep from the panic level. All right? That's the purpose of what we do here, Amir. What they do, what the rest of America does, that's on them. But what you guys do, I'm trying to make sure between Ryan and I that we keep you centered as to what's going on. Paul says they're all watching CNBC. That could be true. Xroth plans to double coil driver sales outside of Canada from 1 to 2. That's messed up, Mark. That's messed up. It's funny though. It's messed up. All right. AA Parts subsidiary, AAP Parts subsidiary. What are you saying, Andrew? Wonder if the doors will fall off of those choppers. Oh boy. Aquaman. I like that name. I hope not. I hope not. And again, the reason why I asked the question about Boeing is because they've had so many problems in the past, yet and still they're getting shine. All right, next story. GameStop. Is JD here? Ryan reported yesterday in AMA about GameStop going up because of their investment in crypto. I'm going back to crypto. And now today they gave it all back. They're down, 25%. Man, I've learned my lesson well when it comes to meme stocks. I learned it. Anybody else out there learn their lesson about trading meme stocks? Type of 1 if you've learned your lesson. Type of 2 if you don't give a darn. All right. I learned my lesson. I was part of the GameStop for a little bit. All right. I was part of that for a little bit. You're not a fan of crypto. I'm not. I've never truly been a fan of crypto. Not that I can remember. But I've learned my lesson when it comes down news driven, roaring kitty, Food Lion, everything else you want to put in there. I learned, but they gave it all back. They gave it all back. All right, so I just wanted to bring that up. Let's go. Big story. OpenAI forecasts revenues to more than triple in 2025. How do you take advantage of OpenAI? It's got to be done through Microsoft. The Microsoft-backed company, generative artificial intelligence startup, generated $3.7 billion in 2024. Whew, that's a lot of money. OpenAI expects the revenue momentum to continue into 2026 with a figure hitting, see that number? From $3.7 billion to $29.4 billion. That is a huge jump. However, OpenAI is reportedly on track to lose $5 billion in 2024 due to expenses, according to the New York Times. All right, so I'm putting that out there as well. Earlier this month, it was reported that OpenAI was near $4 billion in annualized revenue. The company is also considering selling AI agents that could range from $2,000 to $20,000 per month. OpenAI recently inked an $11 billion. There you go. Somebody asked about CoreWeave. $11.9 billion contract with CoreWeave to deliver AI infrastructure. I'm going to write CoreWeave down, CRWV. I told you I saw a story. I just didn't remember where I saw it. But evidently it was part of my story that I read it. All right. I knew it was from somewhere, but at least I had this on my list, technically to take a look at. All right. Next story. Going back to an old company that I liked a long time ago. It's been a tough play. What's going on with Tonex Pharmaceuticals? Shares of the company are pulling back 6% during the Thursday session. The stock is pulling back following a regulatory update on its experimental. And the reason why I like this company, like the stock, is because it's one of the only companies out there from a pharmaceutical side that's going after fibromyalgia. In the story I did a while ago, I talked about how big it was for women and that not a lot of people were putting a lot of light on it, except for TNXP. And I liked it then. I still like it now, but it popped up as a story, and I wanted to bring it to your attention. I don't remember you buying GME. I thought you were AMC. I did both. Patrick was all over GME. I was all over AMC, but I did take a part of GME. I did take apart a couple of times. And each time I did it, it kicked me in the butt in a big way, Mark. All right? Listen to Dr. Glenn. He knows the true deal. About what? I'm just a guy. You guys know I'm just a guy. All I do is report the news and give my insights. war so that BA can get a jet. I think that you've heard me say on more than one occasion that defense stocks are going to be huge this year. All right, defense stocks are going to be huge this year, and I'm still keeping my eye on DFEN. All right, that's my stock pick of choice to play the whole space. All right, I've said it, and I'm going to continue to say it. Glenn, I remember when you bought coin at the IPO. I did that too. And I learned quickly you don't want to buy a stock at the IPO because all you're doing is boosting up the price for the people who got in before you, before it really truly IPO'd, and they're taking your money. All right. So you are the best, you know the truth. No, I'm just a guy. I keep telling you. I'm just a guy. That's all I am. All right. So I'm gonna keep my eye on TNXP. Here's another story. BP approves major Trinidad and Tobago natural gas project. So here we are back in the Caribbean. All right, back in the Caribbean. I'm going to keep my eye on LNG, see how that works out. Ginger will become a BP Trinidad and Tobago's fourth subsea project and will include four subsea wells and subsea trees tied back to its existing Mahogany B platforms. First gas from Ginger is expected in 2027. It's a while from now, right? At peak, the development is expected to have a capacity to produce an average gas production of 62,000 barrels of equivalent oil per day. It's a lot. That's a whole lot of oil and gas. All right. Here's a speculative play. All right. Axon is another stock that I like. It's down today. I created a new search today. Remind me. I created a new search today. It's two things you got to remind me of: the non-leveraged country ETFs and a search that Todd and I were working on. It's going to be Monday's video. I already know what Monday's video is. I created a search. I'll talk a little bit more about it, but we're going to do the fish on the fly again. We're going to do the fish on the fly again today. Next story. Here's an aggressive play. Soleno jumps 33% on the drug approved to treat hyperphagia and Prader-Willi syndrome. Did I say that word right? Hyperphagia? I got some medical people in the room. So which sector, defense or gold? Both. Right now, with that search that I'm going to show you, mining is still killing it. Mining is still killing it. During these volatile times, VectorVest has kept me safe and sound. Way to go, Jake. I love that. Vic says you said it correctly. Super Glenn, let us know when to buy DFEN. I'll write that down. We're going to take a look at that too. DFEN. All right. So this is news driven SLNO. We're going to take a look at it. Those are all my stories. Let's get into the software now and take a look at them. In my graph, let's go to the viewers tab. Big news. There it is. Boyd. You know something? Look at Boyd is undervalued, fundamentally sound. As much, and I'm going to take a look at the graph, as much as you may not like Chinese stocks, Boyd is making the news and owning up to it, and they're doing the darn thing. So if OpenAI is expected to increase from 4 to 29 billion, should we buy Microsoft since it's the main shareholder? You notice Microsoft is in my list, right? We're going to take a look at that. That's a great question. And when I when I put the story about OpenAI, the way to trade it is Microsoft. We're going to take a look at that. This BP from the GME trade. Look at that. GME down 25% today. I wanted to look at Bitcoin. It's only up just a little bit. There's the Boeing story in regards to the Chinook. What is it? It's only up about 0.6%. Let's look at all of these. Let's start off with the Boyd, right? Here's my typical graph, right? This is a VectorVest graph that includes value and volume. Boyd undervalued, rising value, price bouncing off a level of support right here, open day today. But no matter what, you got to like what you see. You got to like what you see. The news is backing up the move. Boyd is making better cars than Tesla. I don't know if they're better. They're smaller. I've looked. Now I'm curious. What do the Boyd? I want to see what the Boyd cars look like. What do the Boyd EVs look like? I want images. Ooh, that's it. That's a Toyota. That's not a Boyd. Let's go images. What is, there it is. It's a little itty bitty, it told you, it's a little itty bitty freaking car. It's a little itty bitty thing. I don't know if all of these are Boyds, but that's a Boyd. I don't know if that's a Boyd or not. That's a Honda. But I'm trying to find Boyd car. I'm surprised it's giving me more than, oh, that's probably one. Look at that. It's a little itty bitty car. So somebody says they make better cars than Tesla. They make little itty bitty freaking cars. They do. They're little. I got a lot. I don't know why I'm getting so many. Ooh, what is that? I don't know what the ticker. I don't know what the ticker. That's a Tata Nano. I'm not riding that. I'm not riding. I'm not riding in that.
You get that thing out of your mailbox.
Get what thing out of my mailbox?
That car.
I know you can go pick it up in your mailbox. That's what is this? This is another Tata Nano. But I'm telling you, just in general, man, I can't believe it's showing me more than just that. I just want to look at the size, EV battery model type, charging stations, liquid cooling. You see what it says? What do the Boyd EVs look like? I ain't getting what these look like. They're little cars. So do I say that they're better made cars than Tesla? I ain't saying that. Performance is way better than Tesla. Mary or Mari, do you want to ride? Do you feel comfortable riding a car like that? That's like riding in a smart car. I think Boyd is making the little smart cars. That's all I got to say about that. So I got to say, they are cheaper. They're cheaper and tiny. If that's your thing, then maybe you get one, but you ain't getting one here in the United States. If they're going to increase their sales, it's going to have to be globally outside of the United States like they're doing now. But maybe, Aguaman, there's a lot of people out there who are interested in the EV space who are willing to take part of a little itty-bitty, teeny-weeny car. You know where those cars would be ideal at? In Italy, in those little itty-bitty streets. That might be ideally suited for the Italian market. All right. Boyd has bigger vehicles too, Glenn. So Leonardo, I was looking for that. That's why I Googled that. You should find some videos. It's not small cars. Well, then maybe I need to find a video. Maybe I'll change my opinion on that. But if they're making what you would consider to be full-size cars that are cheaper and better, then maybe that truly is the story. But right now, I can't find that. But if I can, I will take. Venomous says not all are small. All right, I'll take a look at it. But I think that the cars that everyone's liking, the $11,000 car, have to be the small cars. I don't think that they're charging $11,000 for the bigger cars. All right, but we'll see. We'll see. Check Boyd Auto. All right, sorry in advance. Those are the first. I got nothing. I almost said that too. I'm not saying nothing. Here's the drug stock. Here's the drug stock that jumped up on the news. Look at that. This is why it's tough to buy those stocks when they hit on big news. All right, that's giving it all back. It's gapping, and it looks like it might actually be profit taking. Microsoft. Now, we're talking about the OpenAI. Am I ready to buy Microsoft yet? Not yet. I'm not ready yet. Microsoft is not all OpenAI, but OpenAI has got its backing from Microsoft. I like the bounce off support. It is overvalued. All right. Am I comfortable with the news to jump on board? I've got 2 levels of headwind here. I got nothing technically telling me. Remember, trade the chart. The chart is not telling me, even based on the news, that I'm ready to jump on board with this. All right. BP, oil, petroleum. I like the move. Oil is jumping a little bit in general, bouncing off support, trading the chart. I'm looking to see if I can get in about this 35.50 range, 35.50 range. If we can break above that, the stock could have some good upside. It is overvalued, but I like that value is rising. I also like that value is rising. Mari says Boyd is also working with Mercedes. Eugene says the Boyd Seal is a Model 3 copycat. John says, when I go to Italy, I will rent an Alfa Romeo and never a Boyd poopy-sized car. Well, if If I'm going to like Germany or something, I get on the Autobahn, I'm going to take Joey's Tahoe so we can ride that on the Autobahn. Everybody's going to pass us like we're standing still. Yeah, yeah. No, but talk about an Alfa Romeo. I would be on that going through the Autobahn big way. All right, next stock, Bitcoin. You know something? Bitcoin is moving. All right, Bitcoin is moving up. There's the trend. All right, a nice open candle right now, though, as I'm looking at it. If you're in Bitcoin, leave it alone, especially if you're in BTC overall, trade the trend. No matter what I feel about Bitcoin, I do think that it is definitely an uptrend. You know what I'm looking for? If you're interested because of the Bitcoin news to jump on board, let's wait for RT to get above 1. All right. But if you're already in it, you're aggressive, you're already in it, leave it alone. Trade the trend, trade the chart. The chart shows me I'm in an uptrend when it comes down to Bitcoin. What I'd like to do is to see more confirmation. If I'm not already in it, let's wait for RT to get above 1. The Boyd Seal is a mid-sized car about the same size as a Tesla. How much is it, Vic? I bet is very low. IV, not in that one anymore, selling premium. Axon, hold on. I mean, we're not there yet. All right. There's Boeing. The news has got it moving sideways between the F-47 contract, between that they're in the running for the FAXX plane, and between the news about the Chinook deal. Interesting that Boeing is just moving sideways. It did break through the uptrend, but it's moving sideways. I'd like to see if Boeing can get above 191. If it can get above 191, that news may be able to sustain the move. I do like that RT is above 1. While it was in an uptrend, it's still above 1. It's moving sideways. Tells me that the stock is still in an uptrend, even though it's moving sideways. All right. Crypto is the next rally. I don't, you know something, even though I looked at the BTC, it's got a long way. Well, you know something? Again, without being biased towards crypto, BTC right now is moving up, coming off. It looks like it bottomed here on a 3-month graph. Let's put it on a 6-month graph. The high over the last 6 months here. Let's go to a 1-year graph. Could Bitcoin have some run? It could. All right. I can't deny it. Trading the chart, it could have some run. I don't know if it's the next rally. We'll keep our eyes on it, though. But right now, it is still in an uptrend. You heard me say it, even though I call it crap, though, it is in an uptrend. TNXP, nice little move up. Again, a lower dollar stock in the pharmaceutical space. They've got just everything tied into their fibromyalgia drug. They've got other couple of drugs in the pipeline, but their big drug is that fibromyalgia drug. 45 to 52,000 on what? Oh, wow. On the other EVs, Boyd EVs, that's a big difference between 11,000 in these little itty bitty cars and 45 to 52,000. That's in the Tesla range, is it not? VIX, that 45 to 52,000 is in the Tesla range. So does that make them super more inexpensive? I don't think so. The super inexpensive side of the car is that little itty bitty car. Does that make sense to everybody out there who's telling me that they make bigger cars? Does that make sense? G Money says, would you look into adding BITW? BITW. I keep thinking that BITW is an actual currency. It's an actual currency, but I've been asked that for the longest time. Let me look into it. If it's an actual currency, I cannot put it into the software. All right? I cannot put it into the software. So for everyone who's telling me that the Boyd cars are cheaper, they're cheaper at that lower model. Yes, that's fine. If that's what you want, go for it. But if VIX is bringing to the forefront there are other models that are equivalent to the Tesla models, they're not cheaper. They're in the same range. So the argument for the cheapness of the car is for the little itty bitty freaking sneaker size car. Am I right in saying that? Yes or no? For everybody who's telling me that it's a cheaper car, am I right in saying that? Yes or no? Just type it in the room. All right? Let's go to the next stock on the list. GME, even after the big move up, look at the even bigger move down. Look at the even bigger move down. All right, so I meme stock, I'm not touching it. And I don't want you to touch it. This should be an MC Hammer. This should be an MC Hammer stock. You can't touch this. All right? That's officially going to be my name for GME. You can't touch this. All right? I'm just putting that out there. You shouldn't touch it. All right? So those are the stocks that made the news. Those are the stocks that made the news. It's cheaper in China, not in the U.S. Well, it ain't going to be no cheap because we ain't buying it. We ain't touching that. We wouldn't touch that with we ain't touching it. All right. I didn't give any stocks, any fish today. All right. I didn't give any fish today. Why? Because I'm not feeling the market right now. I want you to be more protective, more defensive. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to Glenn's picks. Where the heck is it? Glenn's picks. Fish on the fly. First thing I want to do, I'm going to Unisearch tool. I've got all these searches in the Unisearch that I've created for YouTube. We're going to look through those to see if there's any stocks you want to talk about. There it goes. G. Dave reminded me. Non-leveraged country ETFs. So in the VectorVest system, and this is specifically for the people who do not have a subscription to the VectorVest software, I want you to see this, the ability of understanding why VectorVest can be very important to you in helping you to find stocks. I'm going to go to ETFs, and right here, you see right here? Non-leverage contra ETFs. I like that. So stock watch list is equal. There's a watch list that we have called non-leverage contra ETFs. I'm going to run that. Let's go see what they're doing today. Market's just nominally down, right? Not gangbusters, but they're making money. I don't want the yield max in here. But there we go. On the Russell, on the main indices, the Russell, the NASDAQ, the S&P, and the Dow. Right here. These are non-leveraged contra ETFs, which means they're 1-to-1. I can play the Russell to the downside using RWM. I can play the NASDAQ to the downside using PSQ. I can play the S&P to the downside using SH. And you buy these long. You're not shorting them. All right? For those people who do not have a subscription to VectorVest, is that easy? Yes or no? To all of the people who do not have a subscription to the VectorVest system, is that easy? Yes or no? Somehow or another, we've got to get you folks off the fence of just coming to the channel to get information to partaking in your ability to grow your wealth to use the VectorVest software. All right? But very easily, we can put you into the ability to find non-leveraged contra ETFs. 4 of them right here. 4 of them right here. All right? For the Russell, for the NASDAQ, for the S&P, and for the Dow. All right? So I'm putting that out there. So I wanted to show that where that was. All right, we're going to stay in the Unisearch tool. We're going to go to YouTube. Amir, let me ask you a question, and everybody can answer. How many of you are comfortable buying stocks now? Type a yes or no. Based upon what you see going on in the market, how many of you are comfortable buying stocks now? Type a, what did I say? 1 if you're looking to buy stocks now, or type a 2 if you're not. All right, yes or no. Yes or no is what I said. All right, that's easier to go yes or no. So with that said, I'm going to get to that in a second. With that said, Jake says yes. Why, Jake? Anyway, with that being said, this is the fish that I'm giving you right now, right here. RWM, PSQ, SH, DOG. What you're doing with these is you're buying them long, and I think that on these down days, it's a good hedge against the stocks that you're still trying to hold in long. Now, I got another search that I just created. I got to find it. There it is. Undervalued growth stocks. I want you to see what I used in the VectorVest system to build this search. All right, Mark says, yes, I can't help it. I need to go to a different support group. Sigh. Dennis, I'd be careful even with high VST stocks. So if you are looking for stocks to buy, all right, I'm going to point you in the direction of undervalued growth stocks. What I'm looking for here is for the stocks price to be less than value. I want our indicator relative value to be at 1.2 because on a scale between 0 and 2, above 1 is favorable. I want the earnings growth to be greater than 10. We know that earnings is the engine that drives the stock's price higher, right? I want my earnings growth to be greater than 10, but I want my sales growth to be greater than 20 because even though earnings is the engine that drives the stock's price higher, sales is the fuel for that engine. I want the recommendation to not equal a buy or to be equal to a buy. For those people, again, who don't have VectorVest, we give a buy, hold, sell recommendation to every stock in the database. I want to make sure that all of the stocks that I'm looking at right now are buy recommendations. I'm looking at a delta, a percentage change on the earnings growth to be greater than 0. So over the last quarter, the earnings growth is positive, and the same thing's for earnings. Earnings per share over the last 13 weeks is also, this is being sorted by that, and I took out all of the pink sheets and stuff like that. I'm going to run that. For those of you who are saying that you're willing to buy stocks right now, all right, this ties in two things, what stocks to take a look at. But what is the biggest thing you see in this list? Just type it in the room. What do you see stocks in what industry do you see the stocks most in? Type them in the room because that's addressing there you go. That's addressing some of you guys saying, I'm going to buy gold or I'm going to buy mining stocks. This is an interesting search that I think no matter what's going on in the market will direct you to what's moving the most. I like this search. So all of you are saying, yeah, I would get into mining. I'd get into gold. Let's graph these real quick. I like this search. I cannot lie. Look at this. The reason why I like this search, I got a graph layout for this too. What is it? Growth and undervalued stocks. Now, 3 different things that I put on here. Relative value from a growth perspective. Again, for those people who are not subscribers, relative value is only in the VectorVest software. It looks at the stock's ability to outperform a AAA corporate bond. It's upside ability. Earnings per share, the engine that drives the stock's price higher. I want to make sure that it's trending higher. Earnings growth, the fuel. Look at that. And looking to see that stock is undervalued and how far undervalued it is. I created this search for the YouTube channel to help you guys that if you are dead set that you got to buy stocks, I would cherry pick this. Look at this. Nice upward trend. What did it do today? Broke down through the trend. I'm cherry picking. I'm not taking that one. Woo! ASM. How many of you are still trading ASM? Look at this. Undervalued. Value's rising. Look at the relative value. Look at that. Look at the earnings per share. Look at the earnings growth. Whoo! For any of you who are still thinking about it, there you go. What else is in here? A petroleum stock, range bound. I love that it's undervalued and the value is rising. I'm looking for buying opportunities to break out of this channel. But look at the earnings machine, folks. Earnings value is rising. Earnings per share is rising. Sales earnings growth is rising. This is what makes money. This is the kind of stocks that make money that you sit back and go, oh man, I wish I got into this earlier. This is the power of the VectorVest software to bring to your attention the parameters that we have in the VectorVest software that help you find stocks like this. Remember, folks, I'm going through 9,000 stocks to bring this set of stocks to your attention very easily. All right, let's go to the next one. DRD, undervalued, rising value. Look at relative value. Look at earnings per share. How many of you think that this search can make you money? Type a 1 in the room. How many of you think that this search can make you money? And folks, it's not that I'm talking about it. It's not that there's news behind it. I'm using the power of the indicators that you can only find in the VectorVest software. I'm hoping that new people who are not subscribers to the VectorVest software are seeing some power here. There is some deep down power in your ability to sift through 9,000 stocks to find stocks like this without having to scroll and scroll and scroll. New people, you want this ability right here? Go to www.vectorvest.com/YT. You can get a 30-day trial to be able to take advantage of VectorVest trial. VectorVest trial for $9.99. You know what I'm going to do? Is anybody in here from VectorVest? Is anybody in here from VectorVest? From as far as support, I'm going to do something. I wonder if I can do this. We're going to see if I can do this or not. Roger, you're not from Vector. I'm talking about VectorVest employee. I wonder if this is going to work, Joey, if I can do this. I'm going to set up here's the parameters right here. I wonder if I can put that into here. Nope, that didn't work. I tried. All right, with that being said, I need you guys to take a picture of this. I want you guys to make this. All right, this is not tested by VectorVest in any way, shape, form, or fashion. I do make a lot of searches. for the YouTube channel, specifically for the YouTube channel. This is one of them. I do make a lot of specifically for you guys, but the idea is why I do that is to show the power of the VectorVest program to a lot of the people who are not subscribers to the VectorVest software. I am trying to entice you to take a trial for $9.99 for 30 days. Would you do long or shorts on these stocks? Ooh, right now, if these are stocks that are moving and the graph is showing me that VIX, I can definitely see the stock is moving. Before I buy it now, I see that it's in a channel. I'd wait for it to break out. I love the rising value. I like the rising RV. That's what I'm looking for. All right, that's what I'm looking for, Vic. So the graph will tell me. Remember, all of these stocks got to be buy recommendations anyway, so I'm not selling any of these. IAG, upward trend, trade the trend. Look how far undervalued it is. Whew. This helps to give me, look at that, LYG. I like the stock. I'd love to see it get back above the trend line. All right, I'd love to see it get back above the trend line. Do you buy on any IPO on opening day? I did it once or twice. I won't do it anymore, Marcus. I won't do it anymore. I've learned my lesson. But look at our indicators: earnings growth, earnings per share, relative value, trend, undervalued, value rising. That is the perfect storm of before you jump into a stock. Just look at these. Holy smoke, this is a drug company. Look at these. People who are not subscribers to the VectorVest software. Do you see the value in owning a trial? Type a yes or no in the room. People who are not subscribers to the VectorVest software. Do you see some value in owning and getting a trial? Type a yes or a no. This is specifically for my people who are not subscribers to the VectorVest software. Glenn, you said remind about the time. This is it. I just showed it to you. I just told you to take a picture of it. I just told you to take a picture of it. Orla has been flat since last week. Yep, it has been. You know what I'm looking at before I get out? It created a level of support right here. If I'm not out of it, I'm looking at this level of about 850. Does that make sense? Look at all that profit that was made in that stock, though. Let's go to the next one. BCS, it's moving up. It's gappy. I'm not feeling gappy. But look, they all exhibit the same characteristics of being undervalued and the stock's price rising. Would I buy SNEX? Nope. Going down. TWO, no, maybe. All right. No. And the reason why I'm saying no on a lot of these, I never buy on a down day. No. I'd love to see it's an up day. I'd like to see it get above that level of resistance. All right. I'm not going to look at stocks today. I'll tell you why. Because I think that this in and of itself was worth the admission today. Yes or no? Was this worth it for you to be here today to get this kind of insight? Yes or no? And again, it doesn't look like a lot of my people who are not subscribers to VectorVest want to answer about the power behind this. All right. So that's all I got to say about this. All right. And if you haven't taken a picture of it, take a picture of it. Take a picture of it. This is something that I made specifically for the YouTube channel. Specifically for the YouTube channel. I am trying to get you the quickest way to find the right stocks no matter what. All right? I think this search is something that if you are a subscriber, build it. Build it, build it, build it. Vix, this is why I like VectorVest program, because I can do searches from top to bottom, left to right, prices low or high on any industry. But the cool thing about this search I named it Undervalued Growth Stocks. The cool thing about this search is with everything that I have here, it automatically brought to the forefront the industry that's kicking butt and taking names. How about that, right? I think you mentioned non-leveraged foreign stocks. Nope. I mentioned non-leveraged country ETFs, and I did show that. All right, I did show that. Non-leveraged country ETFs, and I showed you where you could find it. And if you can't build it, call somebody in product support. They'll help you build that. All right? So don't be mad at me for not looking at stocks today. All right? I think that from a fish perspective, if you've got to be buying stocks, this is something that I would look at. Remember, these are undervalued stocks that are growth stocks. If you're going to go that direction, cherry pick through them. Remember, trade the chart, not your heart. And you might find some winners in here. But keep in mind, it's a little bit more of an aggressive way to go. All right? It's a little bit more of an aggressive way to go. That's only for the people who are sitting back on, man, I got to be in the market. These may be some good stocks out of the over 9,000 stocks that we track for you to keep your eyes on. That's all. I'm not telling you should be buying stocks now. If nothing, again, I like the idea of the 4 country ETFs, non-leveraged that I gave you. Those are what I'd be looking at right now. Not long-term, because this move to the downside may not be extended. But if it is, you're in 4 non-leveraged country ETFs to help to hedge your portfolio. Want to know what to do with the stocks I own? What did I say, Amir? Somebody type in the room what I said about the stocks that you own. There's 3 things that I told you to do. Type them in the room, folks, because Amir didn't hear me. Maybe if he hears it from you, he'll listen. There's about 3 things I told you to do with the stocks that you own currently right now. All right, tighten the stops. Thank you, Kevin. What else? What else? Nobody else remembered? Sigh. Tighten the stops. Vic said the same thing. Sell them. That's another good way to go. David says, why futz around with all of that? Sell calls. There you go. Buy puts. Trade the chart. All right. So Amir said he did hear. Then why are you asking me the question? Sigh. Oh my goodness. Hold on.
Well. Un momento, por favor.
All right. So I just told you what to do, Sigh. You know I love you, Amir. You know I love you. And this is what you need to do.
You kids are probably asking yourselves, hey, Matt, how can we get back on the right track?
I got to get you back on the right track, Amir. All right? I got to get you back on the right track. All right. With that being said, folks, Edward says, Glenn, are not oil stocks the same, i.e. in your search? I see some, but not deep. Oh, just because a stock didn't show up, that means it didn't meet all my criteria. If the stock didn't show up, it didn't meet all my criteria. It may be a stock in that industry that you may like or whatever, but I've got specific criteria that those stocks have to meet. If DVN doesn't meet that, then it doesn't. All right? Amir says, because I like you to get mad because it's fun. Sigh. All right, whatever. It's a good thing. Like I said, I love you guys to death. All right. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you, Dave. Dave says, good job. How many likes did we get? We got 103 likes. Look at that. We got 100 likes before I leave. I got to love that. Mark says, for us, VV Nation under ETF, is it contra ETFs? No, 3 times. Yes, there's one. There's one search that you can use. I believe that is a search. There's one search that you can use. I like Undervalued. Boyd is a guild example. Bought 13 days ago, up 8%. So you understand why that search that I showed you really hones in on the stock's ability to be undervalued. You know, that's our mantra, is to have you in safe, undervalued stocks that are rising in price in a rising market. But in a search like that for YouTube, I do want you to be in undervalued stocks. All right, so there we go. 100 likes, 10 stocks. I know, but today I'm at 305. I'm at 305. Jimbo, new name. Appreciate this great program. All right. So with that being said, let me go. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. Adios, arrivederci, ciao, au revoir, sayonara, aloha to all my peeps in Hawaii. You know I love me some Hawaii. Probably going to love me some Hawaii for the rest of my life. All right? Always remember, there's always good people in the world. If you can't find one, be one. Odabu, bom dia, salam, shalom, namaste, yasu. Till the next time, folks. See ya.